Welcome, friends, to our gentle wave Healthletica class. Settling into your mat, we'll start in just a minute or so. It's nice to be back with you today. And as always, before you start any kind of physical practice, taking advice from a healthcare professional, if you have any kind of underlying medical issues or medical concerns, please be mindful in your practice today, making sure that if you have any injuries or a space where you have to take it a little bit more gently, just opting out of the posture, no problem at all. So welcome everybody to our class today, this evening, and my name is Afshan. It's my honor and privilege to guide the next hour and connecting our breath to our body, our mind and hearts together. And I'd like to thank Healthletica for allowing this space, for creating this space for us to share that energy. So coming down onto your mat and laying down in Shavasana, and take Shavasana in whatever space that works for you best. So perhaps laying flat on the back might not be great for you. You can bend your knees or perhaps butterfly the legs, soften the knees down with gravity, or even go into fetal or side pose, whatever works best for you. And as you're laying in your Shavasana, start letting go. Letting go wherever you've come from, allowing the next hour to be mindful for your own self. Notice the heels are softening, the toes are softening, moving away from the mat. Notice the calves and thighs are just releasing, letting go. Maybe lift up the pelvis and allow the sacrum or that low back area to connect to the mat. Perhaps lift up the heart center and allow the shoulder blades to sink into the mat. Open up your heart center. Soften the shoulders, soften the arms, each single fingertip. At the very smallest cellular level, let go and be present to this practice. Let's tune into our breath. Inhale through the nose and let it go through the nose. Again, inhale through the nose, the belly lifts, and exhale, belly softens. 3-part breath, our Dirga Pranayama. Inhale, belly lifts, ribs lift, chest lifts. Exhale, chest softens, ribs and belly sinks right back to the mat. So just remembering mindful breath. Inhale, starting to expand from the bottom to the top. Exhale, softening from the top right down to the bottom. Very good. So continue this 3-part breath as you start just connecting to the ebbs and flows of your own rhythm. And perhaps think about an intention that you may want to set for the practice, or directing energy inward to yourself, or maybe to someone in your life that may need it today. Wherever this energy needs to go, just perhaps take a moment to think about it and mindfully set an intention. And for my practice, I typically share a wisdom from another person, and today I've chosen Rumi again, especially with everything going on in the world. We need some love and light to spread, and the wise Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So practicing from a place of love, of light, of kindness. Here we go today. Start wiggling your fingers and toes to slowly awaken yourself to the mat. Maybe rotate your wrists and ankles in circular motions a few times one way and then a few times the other way. Very good. Let's inhale the arms high up above us. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. Fingers and toes to opposite poles. And exhale, let go. Soften everything right down. One more stretch. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Feel those glutes tighten, your jaw tighten perhaps. And exhale, letting it go. And then gently roll over onto your right side, allowing your head to pillow on that extended right arm. Left hand to the mat, knees slightly bent in fetal restorative. Ancient posture, reconnect to it. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then gently use that left hand to help you lift up into a seated posture facing me. And you can sit cross-legged or you can extend the legs, whatever works for you to allow a nice tall spine. We'll do a few seated postures and then move our way into standing. And then, as I say, our gentle practice is a nice massage for the whole body. We'll focus on our different muscle sets, always connecting to our breath. So if at any point you feel like you're holding your breath, just let go of the pose. Come back to your breath, then back to the pose. Always making sure that our breath comes first. And remembering again, as I mentioned earlier, if you need to go into fetal restorative, shavasana, or child pose, at any point you can do that and just opt out of the pose that's not working for you. So let's draw our hands to heart center, connecting them mindfully, gently, thumbs pointing towards your sternum or towards your heart center. Roll the shoulders away. Let's inhale the palms up. Exhale, sweep the arms, connecting your hands back to the heart, bowing your head in reverence. Let's do that again. Inhale, looking up, stretching, and exhale. And remember, your exhales can be through the nose. That's typical for our yoga practice, but if you need to do it through the mouth, that's okay too. One more. Inhale. And release. Softening the shoulders, softening the knees. Good. Let's do a couple of seated postures. Right hand comes down to the mat. Seated, we're going to do seated crescent. Inhale the left arm up. Soften that left shoulder down. Engage the core. And exhale, crescent towards the right. So again, just here, notice, is your left shoulder drawing forward? Move it back. You want to create a nice stretch through the side ribs. Right hand is firmly planted onto the mat. You can shine your gaze up a little further, up towards the sky to create a deeper stretch. And if it's available, you can take your fingertips to the right and see if you can drop your elbow down without lifting your hip or your sit bones. So again, you don't go any further if it's not available. Breathing here for 3, feeling that stretch right down to the hip perhaps. For 2, 1, inhale the right arm up. Exhale the left hand down. So we're going to draw that shoulder blade down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, engage the core, and exhale, crescent to the left. Again, draw that right shoulder away from you. Perhaps shine your gaze upward. Notice the deeper stretch through the right lateral ribs. Maybe take the left fingertips towards the left side of the room and dropping the elbow down only if the sit bones stay connected to the mat. And breathe here. Feel that side body stretching so beautifully. Breathe into any of the tightness you may feel for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale the left arm up. Let's get ready for seated eagle. Exhale the right arm underneath the left. So you're going to grab onto either opposite palms or opposite shoulders, whichever is available to you today. So each day our story is different. Each day our availability is different. So just being gentle with ourselves. Let's inhale, engage the core, lift the elbows up slightly. Feel that stretch through the upper back, the traps. And then exhale, I invite you to start rounding, taking your elbows gently towards your core, your belly button, and gazing down at the mat. Breathe here for 3. Squeeze those elbows and shoulders for 2, perhaps wrists for 1. Let's inhale, engage the core, squeeze that belly, and exhale, come up 1 vertebra at a time, releasing the arms back up in the air. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine, Exhale, left arm underneath right. So availability may be different here. Each side is different. Lifting up the shoulders slightly. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, start rounding. Gently, one vertebra at a time. Elbows towards the navel. Gaze towards the mat. Breathe here for 3. Keep everything nicely squeezed for 2, 1. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, come up one vertebra at a time, releasing the arms up. Good. Let's just put your hands on your knees for a moment and gently take some shoulder rolls. Very good. And perhaps you want to maybe try this one here. You're going to take your hands and clasp them together. Or you'll grab onto opposite wrist, whichever one is available to you. Roll the shoulders away, looking forward, nice tall spine. Inhale, engage the core. Exhale, start coming down, hinging one vertebra at a time. And when you feel like you've gone far enough, maybe you want to try lifting your arms up towards the ceiling. Again, being mindful never to create any injury or pain. Ahimsa in Sanskrit means do no harm, one of our main mantras in yoga. Keep breathing for 3, perhaps lifting the arms up higher if it's available for 2 and 1, and gently one vertebra at a time, coming back up, allowing the arms to release, taking some good shoulder rolls, feeling that nice blood flow through the shoulders. Let's continue on. We're going to move into some vinyasas. Vinyasa means movement with breath. Our most simplest one is a nice spinal warm-up, or cat and cow. So remember to align your knees to your hips, hands to elbows to shoulder. So you want nice linearity. And you can maybe curl the toes under to activate those toe joints. Give them some love. Spread your hands apart. Perhaps try to create an L with your index finger and thumb. Ground the tops of the knuckles. Let's inhale. Let the belly drop towards the mat, gazing upward. Nice long throat. Exhale, rounding the spine, starting from the low back, allowing your gaze to come to the navel. And we'll perhaps maybe just press the mat with your palms, creating a deeper arch in your cat. Good. And let's inhale, back into our cow, looking up. Exhale, move with your breath, rounding again. Very nice. Stretching the back out. Let's inhale, back to flat back. And let's do a little stretch. Exhale, moving our hands towards the left, so stretching out our lateral ribs again, our right lateral ribs, perhaps gazing towards the right ankle if it's available. So feel that nice stretch along the right side. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale the hands back to center. And exhale, taking your hands towards the right, gazing towards the left ankle if it's available. Feel that nice stretch along the left ribs. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, uncurl the toes. Let's do a nice shoulder stretch with thread the needle. With our shoulder, let's inhale, right arm up, perhaps gazing up to the ceiling. Exhale, sweeping the right arm through, dropping the right ear to the mat, right shoulder to the mat, and softening that left elbow onto the right arm. So just stay here and sink into this and feel the stretch in your shoulders, keeping your left hand on the mat where it is. If it's available, you can take the left hand towards the right hip, create a little further, deeper stretch. But see where you are in your practice. Breathing here for 3. Mindful breaths, 2 and 1. And coming back into your tabletop. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's inhale the left arm up. See if you can gaze up to your left fingertips. Exhale, sweep the left arm through, dropping your left shoulder, left ear onto the mat, softening your gaze, softening that right elbow, maybe onto the left arm. If it's available, you can take the right hand towards the left hip, creating a little opening in your heart and a deeper twist.
but only if it's available. Otherwise, you keep that right hand down on the mat. Breathing here for 3, for 2, and 1. Bringing the right hand to the mat if it's not there. Softening the left hand to the mat. Let's come into the child pose. Dropping your glutes down to your heels, maybe taking your knees a little bit wider apart and dropping your forehead to the mat. Soften the palms on the mat. So find your child pose. If you prefer arms beside you, palms facing up, perhaps stacking the arms in front of you, whatever works for you for your child pose. This is deeply restorative, and you can come to child pose at any point. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Very good. We're going to move into another vinyasa, our downward dog flow. So again, connect the tops of the knuckles to the mat to take the pressure off the wrist. Maybe take the knees back just an inch, moving out of that linearity, curling the toes under. We're going to inhale, engage the core. Exhale, lifting our hips up to the sky, softening our head, our crown towards the ground. Let's walk the dog out. Bend the right knee, the left knee. Do this a few times. Feel that nice calf stretch. And then when you're ready, just come into your still dog. So remember, for those that want to do the full flow, we're going to do it in tabletop for the first round and then in our down dog for the second 2 rounds. So if you are already practicing this flow and you want to do your first one right off the bat in downward dog, totally fine. So for everyone else, bring your knees back down to the mat, uncurl the toes. We're going to inhale to modified plank. Exhale, come down into our chaturanga. And inhale, baby cobra. So arms tucked in beside you, elbows pointing up to the sky, gaze toward the top of the mat. Exhale, palms reconnect, back to tabletop. So that's your one modified or beginner's flow. And if you'd like to come back into downward dog, let's all meet back here, lifting the hips up to the sky, softening the head. Let's take a nice deep breath and then just let it go. Let's inhale to high plank. So here you can modify, bring your knees down if it's too much. Otherwise, scoot your toes back. Shoulders are just hovering above the wrists. And we're going to exhale, come down into our Chaturanga Dandasana with our arms tucked in beside our ribs, core engaged. We're going to inhale through to up dog or baby cobra. So uncurl the toes, kneecaps off the mat, shoulders away from the ears, gazing up, heart shining up. Exhale, curling over our toes, back to down dog. Walk it out for a moment, take a deep breath, and then realign your downward dog, lifting the hips up, softening the head. Let's take another flow at your own pace. Inhale, high plank. So here you want to make sure to keep the core engaged. Exhale, coming down into your chaturanga. Here you might be shaky. Inhale through to up dog. Really opening up the heart center. The kneecaps are off the mat. The feet are flat. Exhale, curling over your toes. Back to down dog. So again, lifting up the hips, softening the head. Take just one deep breath here and let it go. Very good. We're going to walk our feet up to the front of the mat, grabbing onto opposite elbows, letting your torso sink towards your thighs. Bend the knees as much as you need to, and then just sway side to side. Perhaps shake your head yes and no. Give your neck a nice break. Our neck holds up our crown all day long. Lift your hips up higher if it's available. Let your crown go. And then take your hands to your hips and come up one vertebra at a time with your head coming up very last to stand in your first mountain. Hips, feet hip distance apart. Soften the shoulders down, palms facing forward. But you're not holding on to your palms. You're letting the fingertips go. Let them melt with gravity towards the earth. Soften the face. Soften your breath. Let's inhale through the nose.
And exhale, let it just go with the mouth for one moment. Again, inhale and release. Very good. Opening your eyes gently. We're going to get ready for our standing practice. Coming back up to the top of the mat. We're going to have our big toes touching, our heels slightly apart, getting ready for some salutations. Inhale, the palms come up and connect. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, sweep or swan dive your hands beside your feet. Inhale, flat back, shoulders away from the ears, hands to shins, knees, thighs, wherever you can connect. Exhale, bend the knees, hands beside your feet, and your torso comes right down to your thighs. Let's inhale, reverse that. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, inhale. Really stretching upward, and exhale, sweeping the hands down beside your feet. Inhale, flat back. Crown towards the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees, hands beside your feet. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, hands coming up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one before we go into our warrior series. Inhaling. Exhale, hands come down beside the feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands beside the feet. We're going to lunge the right foot back to 2 o'clock. So imagine there is a clock in front of you, and that right foot is pointing to 2, left foot is pointing to 12, and we're getting ready for our warrior one. So you want your pelvis or your hips to be in one line or squared. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, swiveling our arms upward and lunging that left knee. So soften the shoulders down, engage the fingertips. Take a look, do you see your big toe? If you don't, heel toe it forward till you do. Good. And you have heel to heel alignment. So you don't have a wide stance between the heels. And if this is not comfortable, you might want to shorten your stance. So take your hands to your hips for a moment. Are they in one line? If that right hip is pulling back, draw it forward, perhaps by shortening the stance or elongating, whichever you need, your personal warrior. So let's inhale, soften that left leg, and then exhale, lunge a little deeper, opening the arms into cactus arms for warrior one, open-hearted warrior one. Shine your gaze upward, feel that nice stretch in the back of the calf. Breathe here for 3, for 2, enjoy it for 1. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, swivel your arms beside you, heel toe the back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. So you want your left knee coming in towards the left pinky toe, arms in one line, gazing over your left fingertips. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine, curl the tailbone in, squeeze the core, and exhale, lunge into a beautiful warrior two, softening your gaze, perhaps smiling. Feel the shakiness. We're using our big quad muscles here, so it fires our body up. And keep breathing here for another 3, 2, 1. Let's flip the palms sideways. Inhale, reach forward with your fingertips. Exhale, taking the left arm to left thigh, reaching the right fingertips up towards the sky, and maybe gazing towards your right fingertips. Roll that right shoulder away in modified triangle here. We're going to just breathe here for 3, 2, 1. And inhale, back up to warrior two. Keep that lunge. Sometimes we lose it. Flip the palms up. Exhale, take the right fingertips gently to the back of the left leg. So making sure you're not collapsing on it. Or you can take your fingertips to the left hip. Reach the left fingertips up to the sky. And breathe into your peaceful warrior. Feel the fire. Feel the energy. Perhaps some shakiness. And inhaling, back up to warrior two. Exhaling, softening the leg, heel toe the back foot back to 2 o'clock. Squaring the hips, getting ready for reverse prayer in our warrior one. So you can grab onto opposite wrists or opposite hands or reverse prayer if it's available to you. Rolling the shoulders away, softening the face. Let's
Make a micro bend in the left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine, engage the core, and exhale, hinging over our hips. So both knees are just micro bent to avoid any injury. And you're going to keep hinging over your hips until you feel you can go no further, or you feel that tension in the back hamstring, especially on the left side. And then you soften your neck, soften your gaze. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. So inhale, engage the core. Feet are firmly planted. Exhale, using your breath, coming up one vertebra at a time. Releasing the hands to your hips. Square the back foot. Bend the right knee. Come into a small Tadasana. Soften the body right away. Soften the shoulders, soften the arms, soften the wrists. Feel the energy circulating there. Feel the energy circulating in your quads. Inhale through the nose and release it. Our restorative postures, our Tadasanas, Shavasanas, child poses are great places to realign ourselves, come back into our harmony, become a witness to ourselves. Our body is going to want to come back into harmony naturally. Are you holding on to tension even in one single fingertip? Let it just go. So as soon as you put your attention there, it releases. Let's inhale again and soften. Perhaps bend your knees once to really remind yourself to let go. Our body is our ally. It wants to help us naturally. Let's inhale one more time and release. So coming back up to the front of the mat, we'll do this all over onto the other side, starting with salutations. Remember, take a sip of water at any point. I just keep going, but you can just rejoin when you like. Let's inhale, the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment here. Is your heart beating fast still? Just take a moment to soften the face, soften the heart. Getting ready for our salutation. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, sweep the hands down beside your feet, knees bent, torso on thighs. Let's inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands beside the feet again. One more reverse salutation. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands come to heart center, head bows in reverence. Again, inhale. Exhale, sweeping the hands beside your feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down beside the feet. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Mindfully exhaling, hands to heart center. Softening the face for just a moment here. Soften the toes, soften the glutes. Let's inhale. Palms reaching up to the sky. Exhale. Sweeping the hands down beside your feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands beside your feet. This time you lunge the left foot back to 10 o'clock. So be mindful. Find that spot, that stance that feels right to you. Hips are square. Planting the feet firmly. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, use your breath to swivel the arms up and lunge the right knee forward. Again, heel toe, the toes forward till you see the big toe. Soften the shoulders down, gaze shining upward, heart shining up to the sky. Fingertips engaged, biceps engaged. Open-hearted warrior one. Unclench the toes. Sometimes they dig into the mat. We want to just plant our roots here. Let's inhale. Soften that right leg. Exhale, lunging back into warrior one with cactus arms. So really opening up the front body, the heart center, engaging the biceps. Feel that deep stretch along the back calf. Breathing here for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale. Swivel the arms beside you. Heel toe the back foot. So it's parallel to the back of the mat. Open up the right knee towards the right pinky toe. Arms in one line. Let's gaze over our right fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Curl the tailbone in. Squeeze the core. Exhale, lunge the right knee forward. So we're gazing gently over our right fingertips. Breathing here. Noticing again how the body is firing up, with that biggest muscle in our body being engaged, our quads, our thigh muscles. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Flip the palms sideways. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, right arm to right thigh. Left fingertips coming up to the sky. Roll that left shoulder away. Noticing that you're just gently keeping that right arm on the right thigh, not collapsing. Breathe into this modified warrior here for 3, for 2, and love it for 1. Inhale, back up to warrior 2. Try to maintain that lunge. Sometimes we lose it. Flip the palms up. Exhale, taking the left fingertips gently to the back thigh, left thigh, right fingertips up to the ceiling. If it's available, you can take your left fingertips around to the right hip and just softly place it there. And breathe into this peaceful warrior, sometimes called exalted warrior. Open up your heart. Feel the energy coursing through your body. Offer yourself gratitude for wherever you can go today. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back up to warrior 2. Exhale, soften that right leg. Hands to hips. Heel toe the back foot. So it comes back to 10 o'clock. Squaring the hips. We're going to get ready for our reverse prayer in warrior 1. So you can, again, maybe see if you can't do prayer, grab onto the opposite wrist that you did last time, rolling the shoulders away, softening the toes into the mat. Inhale, lengthening the spine, engage the core, heel to heel alignment, pelvis is square in one line, and then exhale, start hinging, make sure both knees are just micro bent. Hinge to wherever is available. You'll know the exact moment you feel that tension in the hamstring, then you can just soften. Let it go. So we don't want to ever push past our tension. We want to just meet the tension, greet it, say hello to it, and then soften. Let the head fall towards the ground. So letting our crown, our ego, softening towards the earth, our heart to rise up. That's what we need a little bit more of, just a little bit more of our heart leading us. Breathe here for 3, for 2, 1. Inhale, engage the core, and with your breath, with each exhale, with one vertebra at a time, coming up, hands coming to your hips, squaring the back foot, bending the left knee, and coming into another small Tadasana. Soften your face here, soften your knees, and then just become still as a mountain. Are you holding on to any tension at all? So in our yoga practice, we create tension, and just as quickly as we create it, we want to mindfully release it, let it go. And that's called surrender. And that yoga practice that we cultivate with our asanas, our physical practice, can be translated into the world as patience, as compassion, as we just release and let go of tension. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and just let it go. Let all the tension go. And then just become still. Perhaps take your right hand towards the left side of your chest, the left hand to cover the right, and notice the beating of your heart. Perhaps it's beating a little bit faster. Do you feel the tingling in your legs? Are your kneecaps still kind of holding on? Soften them. As we stand here, our body is coming into alignment naturally, harmoniously, without any effort. Take a nice deep breath in and let it go again, and gently open your eyes. Okay, let's get ready for a few standing balancing postures. We're going to have our big toes touch, our heels slightly apart for standing eagle. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, right arm underneath left. So either you're going to grab onto opposite shoulders or opposite wrists or palms, whichever is available to you today. So remembering to find that one spot to gaze at as you follow my verbal cues. So that way, if you use that drishti, that's a Sanskrit word for a soft space where we calm our nerves, our mind, our heart, then you can be a little bit more in tune with your balance. And if you topple out, I always say, smile first. We don't want to judge ourselves. Balance takes lots of patience and many, many moons to come to arrive to. Let's inhale engage the core. Exhale, sit down into a small chair. Take the right leg up high over the left. So remember to keep your knees to the midline. Your pelvis is square, and you're softly gazing through your hands or towards the top of your mat, and sink a little bit lower if it's available. So I'm going to invite you for the second variation. If you're working in the first, just stay there. Otherwise, inhale, engage the core. Exhale, start rounding, taking your elbows towards your navel, gaze or your drishti towards the mat. Squeeze everything here. This is so good for all our big joints. For 3, keep breathing. For 2, for 1, gently release the right foot. Come up 1 vertebra at a time. Soften the toes once. Bend the knees once. Soften the fingertips by wiggling them. And take a breath here in your mountain. Inhale and let it go. So just surrender and let the tension of that posture just go, knowing you created wellness. We'll do that all over on the other side. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart, really planting those feet into the mat. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, left arm comes underneath right. So you kind of almost have to do it really quick and not overthink it. And then again, if it's shoulders or wrists, whichever is available, inhale, lengthen the spine, engage the core. Exhale, sit down into that low chair, taking the left leg up high over the right, knees to the midline, pelvis square. Sink into this eagle here. Notice that you might be more wobbly on one side than the other. Each has a different energetic purpose in our body. Let's inhale, engage the core, and I invite you, if you want to join, to start rounding with your exhale, taking your elbows towards your navel, gaze to the mat. Feel the nice stretch through the back. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Gently release the left foot. Come up 1 vertebra at a time. Uncurl the arms, uncurl the toes, soften into your Tadasana, soften the arms by just shaking them, wiggling your fingertips, bend the knees. Let's take a breath in through the nose and exhale it through the mouth. Let it go. Feel the tingling, feel the chi, your energy moving in your body. 1 more inhale and release. Very good. Let's get ready for chair pose. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Inhale the arms up and exhale, come into a small chair. So here you want to make sure that your knees are aligned. Sometimes one knee goes forward, gaze forward. Take your chair to wherever it's available. Again, inhale, engage the core. Exhale, sink a little deeper. And then we're going to do a little twist. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, taking the left hand to the back, right hand to the left hip. Just gazing over your left shoulder. Sink in, make sure both knees are still aligned. Breathe here in your chair for 3. Feel that fire in the thighs for 2. Love it for 1. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, coming right back into the chair. Breathing here for 3. Making sure the knees are aligned for 2. And 1. Let's inhale again. Exhale, taking the right hand to the back, left hand towards the knee, the right knee. Bend, come down into your chair a little bit more, gazing over your right shoulder. Feel the fire for 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale the arms up and exhale, blow it out through your mouth. Bend the knees, soften and close your eyes. Shake your hands. Feel your heart again. Hands to heart center. Feel your heart beating faster. Mine is. Just from that beautiful, simple chair that we did. Engaged our heart. Offering our beautiful heart that works so hard for us. Much gratitude. Take a nice breath in and release it. Beautiful. Let's wrap up our standing postures with tree. Left foot really engaged in the mat. Create 4 corners, set your roots. Right foot comes to the left ankle. Open up your pelvis. Open up the right knee. For the practitioners at home that would like to take your tree to a higher level, by all means do so. Just not placing the foot on the knee. We do not want to create any injury. So it could be calf, inner thigh, or perhaps half lotus if that's where you're practicing. Micro bend the left knee, draw the shoulders away,
Flex that foot if it's in half lotus. Hands to heart center. And if you're in the very first variation today, that has a lot of strength also, keep the pelvis open, keep that right knee open. And let's inhale, engage the core, draw the palms up. Exhale, open up your branches. So engage the fingertips, engage the biceps, smile, beautiful posture of wellness, receiving from above and grounding below. Let's inhale one more time in our tree and let it go. Let's inhale. Close your eyes for a moment and just exhale. Notice you might be a little bit tippy. Toppling trees are acceptable. If you fall out, just come back to your breath. Let's open our eyes gently, palms connecting together, back to heart center, releasing the right foot to the mat, softening the left toes once by uncurling them, and releasing our arms into Tadasana. Take a moment here to take that deep, beautiful breath. Inhale through the nose and let it go. Let that posture go. Let all the tension go. And let's balance ourselves on the other side. Right foot connecting, really mindfully to the mat. Left foot can come to ankle. Again, pelvis open, left knee opening. If you'd like to try a different variation, by all means, just remembering to not have that left foot on the right knee. So right knee is also micro bent, so you don't want to hyperextend it. Roll the shoulders away, open up your heart center, and find your drishti to get ready for your tree. Inhaling the palms up. Exhale, open up the branches. And just take a few nice deep breaths here. Noticing how you're planting from below, being mindful. Tree is a beautiful posture to do in the summer when we go to the park or in your backyard. Connect to the grass, get the charge from the earth. Try doing some of your postures outdoors. Let's inhale again. And with the exhale, close your eyes and notice what happens when that sight, your sense of sight is diminished or gone. You might feel tippy, you might feel wobbly. And just trust that even if you fall out, you can come back again. That's life. We fall out of balance. Opening your eyes gently, palms connecting. Feel the fire on the right. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center. Gracefully and gently release the left foot. Uncurl the right toes just once. Bend the knees just once. And come into your final Tadasana. Inhale through the nose. And let that posture go. Let all your standing postures go. So you might feel that the right side is still really charged. If we had a lot of time, we could stand in Tadasana for minutes and minutes and let our body come back into harmony. But let's just kind of give it a little bit of help since we don't have so much more time. We're just going to rock and roll along the heels and balls of our feet. Perhaps take your edges of your feet to the mat to just give them a little bit of a massage. Good. And just balance out the body there. Very good. And let's just stand in Tadasana one more time. Inhale through the nose and let it go. Wonderful. And let's come down to our mat to lay down in a small Shavasana so that we can absorb all that we just did. If you'd like to take your heels and of your feet and connect them sole to sole, and then lift your heart up and connect the shoulder blades. Draw the arms far away from you. Just flap the knees up and down until you just let them go with gravity. Notice if there's a lot of tightness in the hips, you can create a diamond with your feet to just give a little bit of ease. And then just sink into this Shavasana, a butterfly Shavasana of sorts. Inhale through the nose and release. Come back to any intentions you may have set. Come back to your breath. Notice how in Shavasana, everything that we do is where we absorb it. So it's really important to take a few moments just to be mindful and allow the energy to absorb. Now we'll just do a few more reclining postures before we end our class tonight. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes to awaken, maybe just elongating the legs, lengthening them out. Good. And let's take one stretch. Inhale the arms high up above you.
We're only going to do one, so make it count. Thighs and glutes tightening. Exhale, let go. Just let it all sink towards the earth and release. Bend your knees. Draw your knees towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees and just rock side to side. Beautiful. Give yourself a little massage. Perhaps take your knees right in towards your chest. Let your mid-back get a massage. And maybe move your knees farther away from the heart. And just notice how you can give your low back or sacrum a massage. Maybe make some circles. And then counter circles. Very good. And then take your feet right down to the mat. Arms in a T. Take your gaze towards the right hand. So your hands are planted down onto the mat. We're going to do a spinal twist. Imagine your spine is a cloth. You're wringing it out from neck to the base of bottom of your spine. So inhale, engage the core. Exhale, gently take the knees towards the left side. Both shoulders will stay connected to the mat. Let's inhale back to center. Exhale, taking the knees towards the right. Good. Inhale, knees back to center, feet mat distance apart, so wider stance. Exhale, taking the knees towards the left, gaze to the right. So you should notice a nice quad thigh stretch on the right especially. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, gaze to the left, taking your knees to the right. Deeper stretch on the left quad muscle. Inhale, back to center, knees to 90 degrees. Exhale, look to the right. Let your knees gently fall to the left side of the room, perhaps all the way to the floor. The hip is lifting off the mat, but both shoulders are plugged in. Deeper stretch. Bring your knees in a little closer to your body. Feel that stretch to the hips. Inhale. Engage the core. Draw the knees back to 90. Exhale. Letting the knees go gently towards the right side. Gaze to the left hand. Perhaps drawing the knees in closer to your body. Feel the stretch to the low back and the hips. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, engage the core. Draw the knees back to center. Wrap your arms around. Give yourself a hug. Good. And let's get ready for a little core workout. Hands come down underneath your low back, sacrum planted to the mat. Feet are flexed. We're going to do 2 sets here. So if you have a lot of back pain or any kind of back pain, you want to do one leg at a time, that's fine. Inhale, engage the core. Exhale, lowering with mindfulness for 7, 6, 5, 4, 2. We're going to hover the legs above the mat, point the toes, and lift your head up. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, pulse the legs for 5. So make these pulses mindful. 2, and you're using your abdominal as a pivotal point. I'm a little bit off on my numbers. 4, and here we go for 3. Smiling for the last 2. Really keep that core engaged. 1, and let's inhale the legs back up. Flex the feet. Let your head come back down. Good. And if any of you did only one side, you can switch to the other now. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, lowering for 5. Keeping that core really engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toes, hovering. Legs hovering. Let's inhale, engage the core. Lift the head up. Exhale, pulsing again for 7, 6. Love it. For 5. Smile throughout the last 4. Keeping that core engaged. Softening the face for 2 and 1. And inhale. Lift the legs up to the ceiling. We're going to do one last set. Exhale. Let that go. Okay, let's do inhale, engage the core. Exhale, lowering for 5, 4, 3. Keep the core engaged. 2, 1. Point the toes. We're going to scissor kick. Let's inhale, engage the core. Exhale, scissor kick for 5, 4. Feel the nice engagement in your core for 2 and 1. And let go into Shavasana. Soften right down. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let it go. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug, hands behind the thighs, rock and roll along the length of your spine. Do that a few times until you come right up into seated. Let's come up into a tabletop, stretch our body out here a little bit. We're going to come into a tabletop, plant your palms, and roll the shoulders away. We're going to sweep that right leg back like a kickstand, and then we're going to take our left leg to the edge of the mat. Inhale, the left arm up. And we're going to just breathe here, shine our gaze and heart up to the sky in our bended knee, side plank. Stretch that body out. Breathing here for 3. Arms are strong for 2, 1. Bringing the left hand back down, coming back into tabletop. Just rotate the right wrist a few times if you need to. And then taking our left leg, sweeping it out like a kickstand, elongating the right leg to the edge of the mat. Inhale, the right arm up. Exhale, soften the gaze upward. And our bended knee side plank, stretch the body out. Breathe here for 3, for 2, 1. Drawing your gaze and hands back to the mat. Come back into a tabletop. And then take your big toes to touch. Knees mat distance apart. Bring your glutes right down to your heels into a wide-legged child pose. Now, if you don't like wide-legged child pose, it doesn't work for you, draw your knees closer together. Again, find your child pose. It's your restorative pose. You might want to stack arms. As I mentioned before, bring your arms beside you, whatever works for you. And then just soften your heart here. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Just notice how everything is sinking towards the earth, towards your mat. Take another nice deep breath. And then gently, 1 vertebra at a time, you're going to come back up into a seated position. For those that it's available, we'll do embryo pose. You're going to bring your knees together. And we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, curling in 1 vertebra at a time, allowing your torso to settle onto your thighs and your forehead on top of the mat, just in front of your knees. And just sinking into this. You can cross your arms to grab opposite elbows. And breathe here for just a few moments for 3, for 2, chin tucked in for 1. Let's inhale, engage the core, and then exhale, coming up 1 vertebra at a time with your head coming up last. Beautiful. We'll just do a couple more poses as we wind down. We can get ready for camel pose. We'll do half camel. You can curl the toes under, knees are together, roll your shoulders away. And again, for some of you, if you'd like to just take both hands to the back of your low back, roll the shoulders away, and then just gaze slightly towards the top of the ceiling. Let your heart open up and shine your heart up to the sky. This is beautiful. This is just enough right here. This is a deep heart opener. It can also bring up many emotions sometimes when we open up our heart center. So just stay here with it. If it's available to you and you'd like to do half camel, you can drop your left hand to try to find the left ankle. You can take your gaze down to find it if you'd like, and then bring your gaze back up towards the ceiling as you open up the front body, elongate the throat, and breathe into any tightness you might feel for 3, 2, 1. Gently inhale back up to your gentle camel. Place the hand back to the low back. Realign, roll the shoulders away. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine. You can draw the right arm up. Exhale, find the right heel with your right hand or right fingertips, and gently take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Breathing here, noticing the front body opening up, perhaps some shakiness. Breathe into it for 3, 2, 1. Gently draw your gaze just to the front of the room, bringing both hands to the low back, uncurling the toes, coming back into a child's pose to counter that low back stretch. And heart opener, forehead to the mat, wherever the child pose works for you. And then gently coming up one vertebra at a time. We'll just take a nice little spinal twist to end off our practice. So releasing the right leg in front of you, left foot against the right knee. So if this is not available to you, you can just create like a figure 4. That's okay too. Or a chair. If it's available to go deeper, you can bend the right knee and make sure you're on sit bones still. Roll the shoulders away. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale it behind you like a second spine. So the front body is aligned. Inhale the right arm up. Soften the shoulder down. Engage the core. And exhale, twist to the left. So hooking your right elbow in to your left knee. Or you can grab around your knee. Whatever is available to you. And breathe here. For inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist the mid back. One more time. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting the upper back. And for some of you, it may be available to take your gaze to the back wall. Just being really mindful to not overextend any part of your spine, opening up your spine with lots of love and compassion. It works for us by sending messages all day long. Breathing here for 3, for 2, and 1. And then counter twist, releasing all the tension. This should feel really good. It's the opposite movement. Take your stretch as deeply as you'd like, allowing your head to fall right down again, letting your heart rise above. Stretch it out. And let's do this on the other side. So extending the left leg, taking the right foot against the left knee, the outside of the left knee. If it's available, you can curl the left leg under. Make sure both sit bones are connected to the mat. Roll the shoulders away. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale it behind you like a second spine. And let's inhale the left arm up. Soften that shoulder down. Engage the core. Exhale, twist to the right. So softly gaze to the side wall. You can grab around the knee if that's has more availability for you. Creating a stop sign with the left hand, whichever works. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist the mid back. One more inhale, lengthen, and twist the upper back. And your neck can twist a little further to gaze towards the back wall if it is available. Breathe here for 3. Keep that core engaged for 2. And 1, release into your counter twist and let it go. Just soften everything down as you're winding your practice here. Notice how the stretch should feel very, very good. Beautiful. And then come into a cross-legged or release the legs if cross-legged is difficult. For those of you at home that have a block or a pillow, you can always use it on your seat so that your knees aren't lifted up so high, just to create a little bit of ease for it. Let's draw our hands to heart center. Let's close our eyes. Let's inhale through the nose and let it go. One more inhale and release. And please come into your final Shavasana. If you need to take a posture that I didn't offer today, your body is asking you, by all means, take it now. Take a twist, legs up the wall, plow, whatever you might have in your practice to kind of close it off. And then come into your final Shavasana. And remember, your final Shavasana is yours to practice with ease. So if you have a chance to have some silence or dim your lights, just come right down to the mat and let go of everything that you just did. Let it absorb, all that wellness absorb into your body. Soften the toes, let them just fall away and move towards the earth. Soften the calves and thighs. Again, lift up the hips. Allow the sacrum to connect to the mat. Lift up the heart. Let the shoulder blades connect to the mat. Wiggle your fingertips to allow every single little cell to just let go. No need to hold on. I always share this, that I've been practicing for so long, but as I remind you, I remind myself to let go. It's amazing how the body sometimes has been trained to hold on, but we can train ourselves to let go again. Soften your eyes, most importantly, and let go of the thoughts, the mind. Just tune into your own ebbs and flows of your breath at its own natural pace. Just scanning your body one more time to just notice, are you really letting go and surrendering? all tension, and just tune back inward to any intentions that you may have set at the beginning of the practice, any energy that you may have directed to anybody in your life that may need it, or just to yourself. And if your mind gets distracted, if it goes to another place, the magical moment I always say is when you can remember to come back to your breath. So our distractions are a gift in a way also to remind us to come back home, to come back to our center. I'll read that poem by Rumi again that I shared at the beginning of class. And Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. I imagine that all of us are perhaps laying down in that grass in our shavasanas, sending out love and light, slowly coming back to awareness, wiggling your fingers and toes gently, and then just bringing your arms high up above you and rolling over onto your right side, allowing your head to rest on your extended right arm as a pillow. Left hand to the mat, knees slightly bent in fetal restorative. Take a couple of deep breaths here in this ancient posture that we all started off in. We can come back to that for that safety, for that calmness. And then gently use your left hand to help lift you up into a seated posture. Facing me, connecting your palms mindfully together, drawing them towards your heart center. Soften the shoulders down, soften the knees down, or extend your legs, whatever feels comfortable. I'd like to thank you for joining the practice today. And I'd like to thank Athletica again for creating this space for our community, for friends to share in wellness. It's always a privilege for me to guide a practice. It's my honor, and I'm always learning with you. So thank you for allowing me, my gratitude to you for allowing me to share this practice with you today, to guide it. And I wish you much peace, much wellness, much love and light, especially in these times in the world. We need to all emit our own light and share it to open hearts that may not be so open. And I will seal the practice with a word in Sanskrit, which means the light in me recognizes and honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining the practice. Be well, everybody.